the man in question, Shadow Treasurer Ted O'Brien. Ted, good to see you this morning. Let's get straight to it.
G'day,
what will
Pete.
the spending cuts be?
Well, the key message really from me this morning, Pete, is Labor spends and Australians pay. They spend, you pay. And as that prelude just outlined, we have the highest spending government in 40 years. This is extraordinary. You know, every single minute, Pete, 1 minute goes by and Australian taxpayers pay $50,000 on interest on debt. So we are slugging, or the Albanese government is slugging the next generation with up to $1.2 trillion of debt that the next generation will have to pay off because they can't stop spending. And this is why they need to do three things. One, they need to introduce quantifiable fiscal rules to control that spending. Secondly, they need to drive more efficiency in government. And thirdly, they need to remove waste in government. So where people talk cuts, I talk value for money because the taxpayer deserves value for money, Pete.
So is there going to be cuts or not, in your view?
Well, if you look at that third point I said, which is removing government waste, there is no doubt that this government is introducing measures in their budget which are wasteful.
All right, which ones?
We'll be going through line item by line item to identify where that waste is, and we'll have no hesitation removing it. We're in the midst of doing that right now. That's part of the process, and we're being very upfront with the Australian people saying Australian families are doing this with their own family budget. They're living within their means. The Australian government should do the same, like a family or even like a small business. Line item by line item. Where is there waste? There's no doubt this government is being wasteful, which is why they're still running deficits. I mean, last financial year should have been a surplus in this country. It was a deficit. Why? Labor's spending. They have to stop the spending spree, Pete.
Wasn't there changes to budget deficits announced just last week of about $17 billion?
So they went basically from a $16 billion surplus to a $10 billion deficit. That's a movement of $26 billion in the wrong direction in one financial year. A couple of weeks ago, they announced the outcome from last financial year. They did announce a $10 billion deficit. It should have been a $12 billion surplus. The difference, their spending spree. And this is the problem, because every dollar they spend, they put it on debt, and that's the next generation to pay off. That is so unfair. That is the definition of generational inequity.
Are there subsidies that you're looking at withdrawing?
So as we go line item by line item, Pete, we will identify where there is government waste.
Right. Do you keep the energy subsidies going, renewable subsidies, etc.?
Australians know instinctively there is waste. But what I'll make this commitment to you today, Pete, is we're going to be very upfront. Very upfront. And we have to be politically, because Labor lies. Labor will always come out and pretend cuts are going to be here, cuts are going to be there. So let's just go line item by line item. And when we're ready, we'll be very clear with the Australian people where there needs to be waste reduced.
What about personal income tax rates? I mean, from the last election, that's when Labor became the party of lower taxes. Would you look at that, lowering it even further?
Well, there's absolutely no doubt that the Coalition is the party that believes in lower, simpler, fairer taxes. And personal income tax, Pete, is absolutely key here, because we know there's only one path. There is only one pathway for Labor to get the budget back into balance. Labor's plan, it's in their budget. Labor's plan is to have the Australian workers pay more and more on personal income tax. Now, the starting point for improving the budget is to stop the spending spree. The second point is to grow the economic pie.
Yeah.
Unless you do those two things, you can't enable further tax cuts, which is why that's our priority.
Okay.
You've got to get those basics right, which enables you to have Australians keeping more of their own earnings.
But would you try and outdo them? Would you try and outdo them on that lower end of the personal income tax rates, or would you do it, you know, across several sections, including middle earners and higher earners?
Oh, look, when it comes to the design of any potential tax package, Pete, no offence, but today's not the day for us to be outlining that.
Okay.
We've made it very clear the key principles which are driving us, and we're calling on the government to stop the spending spree and start growing the economic pie.
Just one more. I know we're out of time, Ted. There is this push for a complete change of topic here, a push for pro-Palestinian protests to take place this weekend in Sydney. It's before the courts at the moment, but there is a vow to carry on regardless. I mean, what do you think about that? Would it be your urging that the courts don't allow this to happen?
Yes, but it's also my urging for some leadership from the Prime Minister. This is an example of sowing division, Pete. Australia needs to be united. In the absence of any leadership from the Prime Minister, we continue to see the social fabric in this country break down. Anthony Albanese should be making it very clear on national television, looking down the barrel of every camera he can, calling this out and saying it should not go ahead. There is a peace plan on the table. If people wish to express things, use their voices, call for peace. The last thing we need is sowing more division, and the Opera House should not be misused to send the wrong messages overseas as if these people are talking on behalf of the Australian people.
Hasn't he done that, though?
As a whole.
Hasn't he condemned
No, he hasn't,
this
Pete.
latest outbreak?
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. It's measly words, and everyone knows that. For over 2 years now, he has shown a complete absence of leadership. That is why we still have problems with anti-Semitism in this country. He has been weak from the beginning. He continues to be weak now. And that is why we have seen a complete breakdown in the social fabric in this country. Leadership matters. Words matter. And the Prime Minister has shown nothing but weakness.
Ted O'Brien, the Shadow Treasurer, we'll leave it there, but thank you, as always, for your time.